Different about the singles worksheet than a regular family two job. It broke down by day.
When you show them the life insurance mixed, you don't separate them out and do the spread out over a year. You just put it all lump sum.
Yep. What else?
A day or a week.
Broken down on a daily basis. Why is that?
Smaller
Maybe
number.
more day to day than long term.
Right there. A singles person budget's kind of their budget based off of a daily thing. They know exactly pretty much down to the penny what they make each day. Is that open?
I just looked up because it's hot back
Oh,
here.
okay.
If someone comes
Sure,
in,
it's
I just
just
shake them.
not you.
Yeah.
Okay. If we need to, we get some fans. It is warm in here, so. But yeah, singles usually budget everything off of a daily mindset, and they also have that mindset of what's in it for me type thing. So that if you break it down on a daily basis, it obviously doesn't look as bad as a monthly basis to an individual person. Because when an individual is looking at something, they're like, well, that's another $65 out of my pocket each month. If you look at it from that standpoint, if you look at it from a standpoint, it's only at $2 a day. It's not as bad. So we think about how many things we spend $2 a day on. In all reality, like this morning I was going to stop at Sheets just to buy one of those Nakeds juice boxes because I had a coupon for 50 cents off. They're $3. I was going to get it for $2.50. That's the only reason I was going to buy it, because I had coupons. I said a bunch of them out there. A coupon for $2.50. That's the only reason I was going to stop. I'm like, why am I going to buy this just because it's 50 cents cheaper? I don't need it. You know, in all reality, so right there, I just saved myself $2.50 today, which I could have put towards my insurance premium, which has protected my family for basically almost damn near a slept life. When you look at it, that's $60 plus another, what, 20, 40, 15, 70, $75 there. Fan, there's windows very high. So,
I don't want them now.
Just give him like 30,000 whole life and that's it. Crying about not having them last.
the heat in this building, if anyone ever knows.
Gunch, you gotta put the fan up, but I don't think there's a thing back
Is there
together.
not a plug back here?
All
Alright, what else is different about the single worksheet here though?
No mortgage.
Double A 71.
Double A 71. Why do we do a double A 71 with a recoup?
More in it for them.
Yeah, singles think by themselves.
You got it. Exactly. What's in it for me? Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. What's a single person's favorite radio station? This is what I've been taught in other organizations before I got here. And it's always been when selling to a single individual, whether you're selling real estate, watches, anything, a product like this, what's in it for me? That's an E. There you go. WII-FM, like FM radio station. You got it. What's in it for
It
me?
makes sense before and after.
There you go. So that's always what you got to be in the mindset of with a singles individual. If you guys really look at your guys' lives personally, those of you that are single, you really do live day to day for you right now. If you don't have anyone that depends on you, you really aren't set aside or thinking about protecting anybody else other than yourself. So, but the 100, 200, 400. How many of you guys actually have this product yourself? Show of hands, roughly.
What this?
The A71. It's a ground room.
That's why I hardly sell it.
I'd say it's pretty tough to believe in products that we don't even have. I've got the product. I got it back when I played when I first got here, and I started playing basketball. Not more than 3 weeks after I got it, broke my foot, and it was in an air cast. Paid me $100. More than paid for almost 2 years, actually more than 2 years of the A71. Because you think about it, for a single individual, it costs like $4.50 without the recruit rider. Because if I become disabled, my bills are more than $400 a month. I hate to tell everybody that, but that ain't gonna do me any good. So For $4.50 a month, if I get hurt, $50 a year to basically cover that. So when you get hurt one time, it takes care of 2 years worth of this program. So I think it's more worth it. It's a lot easier to basically sell benefits and get people to enroll into them if you have them yourself. Granted, it's controlled business, but who cares, It's products are good, whether we believe in it or not. But that product's something that I would recommend everybody getting. You never know when you're gonna get hurt. Chris Williams, some of you guys are here when he walked outside. I was here when he walked outside, fell through the grate out there and sliced his leg open. Had to get stitches. That was pretty disgusting. Right there would have been $100. I'm sure he didn't walk out there thinking, hey, I'm gonna step on his grate and it's gonna go right through my leg. So it's a good product. The more we have, the more we can explain to them and say, hey, I got this product myself. It's going to increase your belief in the product, your passion in the product, and it's going to make it a lot easier to sell these programs. So it's something we got to kind of look at ourselves. Is I don't want people going in the house saying, oh yeah, I got the entire package. I don't. If you're selling a product that's so great, you got to make sure that we got the product too. Some of your financial situation may have been rough coming from one job to the next. All right, well, within a couple months, though, you should be able to get that turned around for a couple bucks a month ain't hurting you. So, then the next thing is accidental death benefit. Why is that in there?
Because it comes with the A71.
You got it. Basically, it wouldn't even really be in there because singles aren't really thinking pension. But it comes with the A71, so it looks like it's giving them another death benefit. Make sure we're pitching it though. That, if they die in an accident, because statistically speaking, like it says in the script, if we do die at a young age, it's going to be some sort of an accident, so it's earning additional money to help out their kids, nieces, nephews, whatever it be. Get down into the cash value flexible life insurance. We combine these. A lot of the times, if we got a younger crowd that we're seeing, I go a lot of times to the Select Life in here, which a lot of people. It's one route to go. It's a good benefit because you can pitch it as it's cash value, builds cash value, kind of like a savings account. And what bank account can you put $1 into, every day, or put $5 into today? And if you die tomorrow, you get $150,000 or $100,000. There's no bank in the world that gives you that type of an investment, return on your investment. If you die tomorrow, you've been putting in $5 a day. You got $5 in there. You do it for a month. You got $150 in there. What's $150 compared to $150,000? When you look at it from that standpoint, so it's something that we got to really start pitching. I know Simon's going to start getting into more. It's starting to show you guys how to pitch bigger deals. That's how Simon was able to write $17,000 a week. He went out with Pat Van Der, wrote $23,000 some change in a week off of pension maxes and going after bigger deals. Lasting for $200-300 checks. That's where a lot of it comes from. A lot of it will come from singles showing them that it's a savings account and it's protecting your future. So this is something we got to really pray on. Knowing with this idea here in mind is what's in it for me. Is telling them down the road, if you are planning on getting a family, your family's gonna love you after having the foresight of taking this out now because it's in the budget already. And then down the road, if you need to, you can adjust, put on other insurances, cover the wife and kids, but we at least know yours is in the budget already and protecting you, and you locked it in at your youngest age, because you're never younger and healthier than you are today. So we need to keep playing off of find out, and it's proactive in everything we do. It's got to be proactive. You got to find out, are they looking to get a family down the road? Do they want a family? Do they not want a family? It's something that we got to find out proactively, because I'm not even having this discussion if they don't want a family. I'm just pitching it then as straight a savings account. Because people are struggling, ask Justin, your financial advisor, people are struggling to get 4% interest. And the banks and the economy, the stock market crash, I don't know if you guys heard, I think 2 days ago, Monday, it went down another 700 points or something. Oh, God. They're just taking a beating right now, the markets are. It's absolutely brutal. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people getting out of that line of field, field of work here real quick, just because of the stress levels. Probably more people having heart attacks out there because of that stuff. It's nuts. People committing suicide over it. It's absolutely insane. So we can show them a product that can guarantee them 4%, and then you tell them, take it out when you get older, do an annuity or whatever you want, or just leave it in there, get the cash value build up, just basically buy your insurance, choose paid up options. There's so many different routes that we can go with it, that it gives them a lot of different options.
With that first option you were talking about, the annuity, how does that work?
This would just be something they would do on their own. Is if they got to 65, say they're 25, they have 40 years of doing cash value, take out their lump sum, and they put it in an annuity. By themselves, it's something that they can do individually. It's never something it's just like when we pitched pension max and you have the rule of 72, where every 7 years, your money can double if invested at 10% interest roughly. It's something that we're not going to do for them. That's something that they would have to do on their own, take it out and be disciplined enough to give it to a financial advisor or somebody that would invest it wisely for them. It's not something that us personally, we're going to take out and say, hey, we're going to do an annuity, we're going to invest in this, do that. But we handle straight life benefits. Either you're dead or you're alive, one or the other, right? That's why I love what we do. There's no in between. Is it dead? Somewhat dead? No, there's nothing. It's either you're dead or you're alive. There's no in betweens. So that's one of the best parts about our product too, is we don't have to sort out things like health insurance. I hate that. I could imagine dealing with health insurance, what claims and stuff like that. But I'm going to get into showing you guys how we pitch this here in a second. With the cash value flexible life insurance, it is good to combine them, but make sure we're thoroughly explaining everything. When we're showing them a lump sum, if we do throw in $50,000 of 10-year RNC and $20,000 of whole life, and he's got $70,000 down there, make sure we explain to them, listen, all right, $50,000 of this is basically a flexible insurance, which is basically a 10-year term, which needs to be adjusted every so often, every 10 years based on your age and your needs. That way we can adjust, if you have a family down the road, whatnot, we can lock it in, we can convert part of it as we get more comfortable with the price, different things like that. After we explain this to them and pick which job, so like that, make sure they know exactly what they're getting. Because you wouldn't believe how many phone calls that I have to deal with, or TJ has to deal with, or Simon, that people don't know exactly what they got. So we have to go back into detail and explain, all right, well, this part of it is this part is this. So when you're on this section with a single person, because they're always thinking, what's in it for me? It's got to be on our minds when we're in that house, is explaining to them why they're setting it up like they are and what the product is. Even I had a situation here this past week with a family about 30-year mortgage protection. She was thinking that if it paid out, if you guys know this about our 30-year mortgage protection, we're getting rid of it. But our 30-year mortgage protection, it's got a lump sum amount. So, but if you tell them you're getting $600 a month for the next 30 years, if they were to die today, if they get the full amount, say it would pay out $180,000 over 30 years if they were to die today. Say they got it yesterday, they died today, it'd pay out roughly $180,000 or something like that in the ballpark. If they were to die today and choose a lump sum though, it's only worth like half that amount roughly. It's worth like $94,000. So they can't take the full $180,000 if it were to pay out for the entire 30 years instead of paying interest on that money. But if they were to die today and took a lump sum, it's only roughly half that amount. You guys understand that? Because they're paying interest over time. Because so if he took $94,000 and put it into an account building interest, and he was paying out small amounts, obviously it's going to last longer than if I just paid out the straight $94,000. You guys understand that? I don't want no confusions about that, because that lady explained it to her, had it 6 times. She wasn't understanding. She was thinking she'd take the full $180,000 in a lump sum. And so there's a little bit of confusion right there, and that was one of my deals. I know I thoroughly explained it to her, saved it, but she was just confused. She called home office, tried to talk to home office. They were telling her that she took the lump sum, it was only $94,000, so she was confused. So that's why when people call us, make sure you call them right back. It could be the dumbest small question, but could save a deal very easy. I mean, it's a $50 deal with 600 ALP. This is a lot of money in renewables over years.
Did you proactively tell her that there was a lump sum? Because I've never I just tell them it's like $1,000 a month. If they died tomorrow for the next 30 years, they never even asked about lump sum. Did you say that was an option? Or?
I explained it to her because the lump sum, because she had insurance with another company as well, but it was just a straight term insurance for like 5-year term. And she's like, well, what happens if I came into a situation where I just needed the lump sum, where I just wanted to pay off a couple things real quick, as opposed to just having that $600 a month? I'm like, well, in that situation, you could just say, hey, I want the lump sum. Obviously, it's not going to be as much as paying out with interest, stuff like that. But, you know, easy for people to, you know, in their own mind, think a different thing. So, you know, a lot of you guys know how that goes. But I did explain it to her that she could choose a lump sum. That's why she got into that situation.
Now, with, since it's decreasing, say halfway through that term, they die, and what, is it the decrease percentage-wise the same on the 94 as it would be on the 160? You know what I'm saying, like?
If you die, say you die 20 years into it, it's going to pay out the next 10 years. Say you quoted them $600 a month, it would pay out the next 10 years the $600.
Yeah, but for the lump sum, though, I'm saying.
The lump sum would decrease.
Same percentage-wise?
Yeah, as
Okay.
pretty much. So I mean, 20 years into it, it'd be what, a third of it roughly.
Okay.
So you're looking at like $30,000 as opposed to $90,000. Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty steady the way through. I think the last year it's worth like $5,000 like that.
Okay.
Is lump sum typically half?
Rough ballpark. I mean, it's you got. I mean, ideally you can always call home office and they give you the exact numbers. I had to call the actuary, the person that came up with the program, because our home office they gave me like 3 different quotes from 3 different, just because they always have new people coming in there, you know, so it's always tough for them to. They're looking at a sheet trying to read it. You know, I've been here longer than half the people that got down there answering the phone, so. But that's just something that you guys gotta make sure you're aware of, was that 30 mortgage protection since I ran into it. Getting back into the single worksheet here, so we get this finished up here. The lump sum cancer benefit. You guys know how this works. What cancers are covered and what cancers are not covered.
Skin cancer,
Nothing that you can flick
Internal
off or
cancer.
get scratched. Flick off.
Yeah, nothing you can flick off. Exactly. I have full brochures in my office. It explains this in detail. It's actually a full brochure that opens up, glossy. It's a nice little brochure. But make sure that you guys are actually looking out here. There are outlines of coverage for pretty much every product we have. You're supposed to stick them in folders, at least like the A71, the cancer. You're supposed to stick those in every folder so that they have outlines covered. Make sure we really look at it. And this is part of educating ourselves and knowing our products inside and out, which I know 90% of this room doesn't know our products inside and out. Don't even know portions of our products inside and out. This is something that's going to come back onto us because people really start digging into and asking these questions because there's so many different cancer policies out there. Some that you pay you $50 a year to go get your, like for women, like a mammogram, they pay them $50 a year just to go get checked up. Guys, I think they have that like every 2 to 3 years. Some products, policies do. You go get checked. So we really got to look into it. Ours doesn't give, you know, $50 a year or $100 a year, $75 a year. If it costs a little bit less than a lot of them, this is a lump sum, not a graded. We do have a $5,000 graded benefit for any of you guys working POS. You might come across it. It's like CMP, I believe, on the POS sheets. It's $5,000 graded. It pays out actual costs. So if you happen to have a $5,000 hospital bill, it just pays you the $5,000. Once you use the $5,000, it's gone. It's cheap, but it requires a whole separate application. I think that's why no one really messes with it. But the lump sum covers them, I believe, to age 70. At that point, it reduces to half the coverage, so it would be $5,000 lump sum, and I believe at age 80, it's done. Did you guys know that? You go grab this worksheet real quick. We'll make sure we have those.
Superstitious. First station, this is a premium, that's one of the time stands. I'm ready to. I get it. I'll probably get it tomorrow.
How you doing, Bernard?
Well, then you definitely need it.
Just going over singles right now, TJ, if you want to throw anything in. I was just touching on this cancer real quick. This here is what I was talking about. It's a cancer brochure, explains in detail. Right here. What you're looking at, issue ages, you can issue it anywhere from age 18 to 64. Policy covers leukemia, Hodgkin's disease, and any other form of malignant growth positive diagnosed with cancer. Benefits paid directly to you unless otherwise indicated. You decide how you want to use the money. No physical exam required. A few health questions determine if you qualify. No hospitalization required to receive the benefits. Only pathological proof of cancer is required to get the payout. Pays in addition to any other insurance you have. Guaranteed renewable to age 80 or upon payment of benefit. It reduces to half at age 65. Policy cannot be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Rates cannot be increased on any individual basis. And choice of single, individual, single parent, or family coverage is available. Cancer first manifests itself after a 30-day waiting period.
It's good. Most policies out there are like a 6-month waiting period, a 6 diagnosis.
Right, well, yeah, over a year type stuff. What'd you say?
The other side.
The other side has limitations and exclusions.
No.
I don't know if country said it, but single people are selfish. I mean, not in a bad way, but
What's in it for me?
exactly. You gotta show what's in it for them. You can't show them just a bunch of life insurance. They don't have to know how much the cancer coverage is. They don't have to know that it's $9 a month. Because through most companies, it's 50, 60, $100 a month.
Aflac is going through the roof.
Through the roof. I talked to a lady last week who her cancer coverage through Aflac and her family just went up to $300 a month for her and her family. $300 a month
Just for cancer.
for cancer. And it's through her work, and she's still paying.
How much is the benefit though?
She's paying $25,000. But it's not on first diagnosis.
Right.
I mean, they pay to the doctor and so on and so forth.
Good rate.
See, the reason why it's expensive for them too is they're underwriting everybody. The rate never changes.
Right.
So like, young people are underwriting old people.
Right.
And they had a policy out about 5 years ago, they're getting burned on for mammograms. That actually pays out more than what they pay in a year. So they gotta make up the money somewhere. This one, 25,000, boom. I'm sure you can use that, can't you?
Simple.
You don't have to jump through hoops.
You guys go on and do your own research too a lot, like with the Cancer Society and different things like that, just www.cancer.org. Just in here too, they have like statistics, these are old ones, I mean, it is 2004, I've had this for quite a while. Down at the bottom, it says expenses that you'll incur, second and third opinions, cancer treatments, hospital copays, deductibles, surgeons, anesthesiology, radiation, chemotherapy, outpatient treatment, cosmetic or reconstructive surgery, at home recovery care, lost wages, mortgage, car payments, credit card problems, child care, travel expenses, out of town lodging, and treatment in other cities. It breaks it down and it also gives you like statistics on what percentage of people, and men and women, like men, 33% of the cancers are prostate cancer, 13% lung and bronchitis, colon and rectum 11%, women breast is 32%, lung and bronchitis 12%, colon 11%. So it breaks it all down, kind of gives you guys little statistics. I'll leave this out. You guys will make copies and whatnot of it. More than welcome to, but you know, it is a great product, and that is a a what's in it for me type benefit. It's a living benefit. It's paid directly to whoever it is upon first diagnosis. On that there, it'll go to whoever the applicant is, unless, like I said in there, unless specified in some other way. I would put down the life insurance. If they were to die from cancer, it'll go to the beneficiary with the life insurance. Understand? Otherwise, it gets paid directly to them. And then obviously, permanent and portable, layoff and strike proof. Just things I want to touch on before we get actually into the worksheet a little bit more. Make sure when we're explaining layoff and strike proof, I ran into another situation yesterday. If people go on scheduled layoffs every single year, that's not covered. Please do not tell them that that is covered. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't tell them, but just so you do know, I did have a client, they cover every other year. Okay? But don't tell them. They don't need to know stuff unless they ask you. Okay? But I have a laborer in Masontown, PA, that turns in the layoff waiver every other year and they honor it.
Because you have to work 12 months in a row, that's the thing.
That's the key. So don't go into a laborer and say, hey, guess what, every January when you get laid off, we're gonna cover you for 3 months. You will lose your deal and all the referrals that are attached to it.
So it's qualified, Joe, it's qualified, it's just 12 months, so it'll be X amount of people.
No, it's X amount, it's 8 people for.
Yeah, read the postcard, read the card. I mean, they need a signature from their
Yeah,
rep,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't just,
Just say qualified.
Just
Certified.
be smart about it, you know? Don't be telling them every year though, because I've run into it a couple times, it's like, well, I didn't keep paying my premium, I sent the card in, it was supposed to be taken care of. I'm like, what do? I'm a Boilermaker. I'm like, so you get laid off every winter? Yeah. I'm like, oh, here we go. I knew what I was walking into proactively now. And I'm like, all right, so I calm down, explain the situation. I'm like, that's why you guys get paid so well during the year. You make money, stack it up, and you guys can take off through the winter time, relax, do whatever you gotta do. Hunt, fish, so yeah, I do a lot of hunting. No, I mean, that's what saved the deal, was I hit it off with hunting almost. I don't know if you guys get into hunting at all, or look in a magazine. 90% of these guys we deal with are hunters.
in NASCAR,
Hunters and NASCAR.
you better like NASCAR.
I'm telling you, even if you don't like it, pick up a hunting magazine, pick up a NASCAR magazine. It's called adapting to the situation you're in. If you're working in the hood, read up on your drugs.
Sell a lot of 40-yard RCs.
Wow.
Avoid 40-yard season because you know what?
Don't get rated because they go, oh my God, this is more than my premium.
So, I mean, make sure you guys are adapting to the situation, you know, like, I don't know how many deals I've probably gotten and how many deals I've saved just off talking about hunting.
Make a friend, make a sale.
It's absolutely unbelievable. I've got people showing me pictures, sending me pictures of deer they've killed, pheasants, turkeys. I pull it out in almost every house. I got pictures of all the deer at my house hanging on the walls out back. And I pull that out in the houses all the time. Like, oh, look at this one. Any of you guys run it out with me. You see me pull it out, pull it myself, and I give it to them. I just flip through it. He's like, man, where do you get all these big bucks at? And I tell him that it was, 3,000 acres. And so I got kind of like my own hunting resort. So, I love it. I mean, it's just building commonality is all it comes down to the day. A lot of you guys already know this, but it's a matter of actually doing it. But basically, all right, we got through the singles worksheet pretty much. Striking layout proof, want to make sure we got through that. But now when we're presenting this, it's going to be presented the same exact way as Simon went through yesterday. Which job would you take? Why would you take this job if you're making $2 more, $2 more a day over here? Because of the benefits. Exactly. So, I mean, if you got to, go into it again, So you're saying with that extra $2, that you're missing, you're not going to miss it going to Sheetz or Starbucks or anything like that, right? No, it's pretty much a no-brainer, exactly. Always relate it to something in their life. It's one thing that we're not very good at, I noticed with a lot of new people, is we don't get enough information up proactively in the beginning when we're building rapport. We'll sit down and ask them, oh, how's the neighborhood? How's the house? Great. How long you lived here? Great. Big family? Great.
Boring.
And that's all we get out of them. We don't ask them what they do for fun and stuff like that. That's where you really start to build the commonality, is hitting off on something that they like to do, rather than just asking about the area. Great. I mean, I couldn't tell you anything about my area. I lived there for 9 months. I had a bunch of condos. I'm assuming maybe some rich people. I don't know.
Right, you're right.
There's Oxford Club there.
Right.
I couldn't tell you anything about my neighbors. That whole community, I would say, is very secluded to themselves. If I see somebody outside, they're walking their dog and they're like running to their house. I don't know.
Where you at now?
I don't know if they rob them or what. Like, that's it. I know. I met the one neighbors next to me because their garage door was open and they were walking out one day. I said hi to them. I found out there's 2 sisters that lived there. That's all I know about them.
8 months later, we haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, it was when TJ was moved in here with me. Walked outside and had to catch him off guard, I think.
They were scared to death.
And that was it. So,
The single guys love instant lotto tickets. I mean, you'd be surprised at what single guys spend their money on. If you joke about something stupid, I mean, it could be dumb as can be. Walk in with oh man, I just stopped at Sheetz, I got this new one. They're like, yeah man, I want $5 off that. Okay, well I just found out that they waste money on instant lottos. Okay, so when it comes out, yeah, you know, like you're wasting your money every day on this instant lotto and you haven't won a dime. You know, you gotta relate to them. If you relate to them and if you spark something in them, it's over. Because single people do spend their money.
TVs,
This is a scratch off tape with the
big
game.
screen
Ask
TV.
Pitt. His anal and his lack of spending money is possible. He still spends $5 grand on the TV. Believe me,
And
they
you can't
spend.
give $100 to that bum walking down the street. That's Justin about spending money on a lot of tickets. But we'll leave that alone. So,
Right.
this is single guys spend their money. It is no secret. How many guys in here are single? Raise your hand. How many of you guys have more than $20,000 of cash in the bank?
In the bank?
Yeah.
What bank?
Notice me. How many people have more than $10,000? This is something you gotta think.
I don't mess with the
How many
bank.
people spend more than $100 on the pie?
They spend. Yeah. How many people spend? How much? Listen to this. How much was your sweater yesterday?
500.
Here, you want to know the problem?
It's
Is
cash.
He gets off on it being 500 when I can go to Marshall's and buy it for 20.
Hey, it was cashmere, baby. It was
I don't
nice.
care if it was velvet, okay? This was $10 9 years ago. They like me now. But how much money do I have in my bank?
But see, TJ got a
Keep your
family.
cash
Well, you're
here.
married, man, so.
Yeah, he got a family. I'm gonna spend my money.
Yeah, kids so clean. But you guys understand the whole concept now, though, of singles. That's something we gotta really be proactive is when we're asking all these things, like TJ's saying, up front I'm asking them, you know, about all these different things, so that way when I get into presenting this worksheet, I'm relating it to their individual situation of them going to Starbucks. Like, if somebody goes to Starbucks and they try to tell me they can't afford it, I'm gonna take that coffee and just slam it in their face. Like, that drives me nuts. I mean, people who actually go to Starbucks and spend $5 a day, $10 a day, two cups. A lot of people who go to Starbucks, they go a couple times a day.
People that go to Starbucks don't just go there to get coffee. They go there to get a latte
Exactly.
for $7.95. You know what I'm saying? I don't just go to Starbucks and say, give me a black coffee.
Okay. Shoot with the question.
All right, my question is me and Morgan sat down with a single guy yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and he liked the program, he liked the benefits and everything, but his rebuttal was he was a fireman and he worked 24-hour shifts, and he said he was covered. He really didn't want to tell us how much he was covered for. We poked, we pried, you know, but he still was being kind of, you know.
Which fire station is he part of?
Oh, which
He was a bowl, we got him for his bowl.
It was still,
He's a volunteer fire.
yeah, he's no, that's
No, we
his
got him
job.
for his bowl, so
We got it to his bowl, so
I was talking to him, it was a false firefighter.
yeah. But what he said to us was, he has coverage through his job, and a part of it is free that he doesn't pay for, but he said he doubled that on his own, and he pays for that part, and when he retires, quits or leaves his job, he can actually continue to take that, and he just has to keep paying for it.
And he is a firefighter?
Yeah.
Like 100%? Yeah.
Yeah, we make copies.
That's portable. That's
Yeah,
what he does
he's
for a living?
Yeah.
That's what he does for him.
What
He
fire,
lived by
you gotta find out
himself.
which fire station this is.
It was he works for the city, so.
Yeah, city firefighters.
The city of Pittsburgh? Because I don't know any insurance, and I've been dealing with firefighters, that the firefighters have given that kind
That's
of
what I
thing.
didn't.
The only one that is good, which fire station
Prince,
is
it's that? called Prince George's. They're the
It's-
best benefits in
They're
the
like
world.
out of New
Maryland.
Jersey, Maryland, like that company, I don't know, there's a lot of deaths in that fire department or what, but they take care of them there, but
That was pretty much the thing. How would you? Because I obviously I'm not educated enough on that. I couldn't try. I didn't want to get into a battle with him. He wouldn't tell us how much he had.
there's two different ways though of doing it. You either, it's for here you go.
I need one.
Spending it is one way of doing it, but if you don't know the amount, is getting it to the table. Is, you know, at all costs, you know, try to find out. And a lot of, when people don't tell us how much the coverage is, it's the way that we asked it. Bottom line. You have a question?
No, I was just gonna say, like, for the Western PA firemen.
Most of those are volunteer though, those are all volunteer guys.
And they're the best.
I had kids
So,
out of
Um, but, you know, what we're looking at is a lot of, everything is our wording. You know, when we're asking for like doctor's information, asking for how much insurance they have, you know, when I ask questions, I say, and how much did you say that coverage was for again, Marcus? When you put it in a way that you're saying, how much was that again, Luke? And I put the look on my face, and I say it again at the end of my conversation, at the end of my sentence, like they already told me once. And so naturally, it lets down a guard of me just saying, how much coverage do you have? And just staring at somebody. You know, if you say, how much did you say that coverage was for again? They feel like they already told me. I've not once had a situation where I've run into with like getting doctor information on physicals or with getting insurance, how much the coverage is for, if you phrase it like that.
And in a situation like that, is there really any point in going any further unless you get the policy or figure something out, because it's going to make your job
There
more
is,
tough.
because then what I'm getting at is when I'm in a situation with the single, it's like, oh, I've got a bunch of coverage through my job, they're protecting me, I get to keep it afterwards, okay, great. That's probably some type of group coverage, group term insurance that they have set up for you. If they allow you to cover it, keep it, that's good, but it probably won't expire on you, like most things. So what we need to do is make sure we get you a permanent portable benefit that is member owner controlled, so you know, it locks you in your current age, current health, you never pay more for it. It also works like a savings account as well. And I'm also going to explain to you know, how it works with savings account. So what it's going to do is it's going to build up interest, kind of like a savings account. I'm going to show you how to let your money work for you rather than you work for your money.
Yeah, he let us go through the questions. It was when I asked for the ID, he was on it.
But how old was this guy?
38.
30. I'm pension maxing this guy. I'm great. I'm glad you got a lot of things set up for you. You got coverage. Probably imagine you got that all extra coverage too. You know, for any outstanding debts like your mortgage. You have that mortgage payment. You do. Okay, probably for your mortgage, your car, your credit cards. You know, if you have any school loans or other outstanding debts, stuff like that, right, Doug? Is that what you took it out for? He told me twice that's what he took it out for. That's like saying, huh? You know, getting somebody to answer the question twice. I'm saying you probably took it out for stuff like that, right? So that's what you took all that out for. You know, if I had asked the question twice, so be it. But I want to make sure that he's telling me verbally, he's spending it himself. If he spends it, and then I can go into a different situation. All right, great, you got all that coverage to protect all your debts. Now I'm going to show you how to make your money work for you rather than you work for your money. Well, I show you how to build cash value, interest, equity, so that if you need to down the road, you can borrow against it, loan against it, do whatever you need to do, choose paid up options, a whole lot of different options you can go with. And what we're going to do is protect your pension right now. That way, if you decide to get a wife and kids and family down the road, this is all enforced and all in place, and they're going to love you for having the foresight to set this up because you're so smart. I want to tell them how smart they are, how great of a decision they're making. I want to make them feel like they're the man. They're king shit, because an individual single guy, especially if he's getting older, you know, starting to get up there in his late 30s, 40s, 50s, he wants to feel like he's doing the best thing. He wants to feel like he's got the newest, the hottest, best thing out there. You know, that's probably why he's still single, is because, you know, it's always about him, typically. You know, so that's what you got to look at, is build them up. Just keep building them up. You know, this is great. You're gonna love what they got set up for you. I can't believe this is unbelievable. You know, proactively, you got to be telling these people that this product is so great before you even get into it. So they want to know what we're walking into. That they're like waiting for this additional stuff. If we're just walking in there with the mindset that I'm going to give them some no-cost stuff, guess what you're going to hear? Well, I thought you were just dropping off some no-cost stuff. If I say no-cost 15 times in my presentation or on the phone proactively, what are they going to think?
No cost.
I'm going to think the same thing. Someone tells me, I'm just dropping off some no-cost benefits, I'm just dropping off some no-cost, oh, don't worry, it's just some no-cost benefits. If I keep hearing that, that's what I'm going to think. And then all of a sudden you're in there for an hour and a half, you know, filling out paperwork, and all of a sudden like, oh, it costs me money.
Now, let me ask you this: whenever you're transitioning to going into the benefits, I think I heard TJ say before. Now, would you recommend that we say now, okay, now these by far are the most, the most benefits that everyone likes the most. These are the ones that cost money, or don't even say that.
Did you guys look in the script?
No, I know it doesn't say that, but I'm just asking if.
I'm right there at that point. As soon as you get down to the no-cost stuff, it's like, all right, great, all these benefits were provided at no cost to you through your group.
Mhm.
These next ones are by far the most important and most popular, but unfortunately, these are the ones you gotta qualify for.
Yeah.
You're saying that in a different way.
You know, I told them that these were all the no-cost stuff.
Yeah.
Now, these next ones are the most important and most popular, but they're the ones that you do gotta qualify for.
Yeah.
But these are the ones that everyone's so excited about.
What I'm saying is we did that, but at the same time, he still asked the question like, if, you know what I mean? Like these were
Then
free
we,
too.
we didn't do our job here. You know, when last time I checked, and I say,
Yeah.
how much you make a day roughly, Doug?
Yeah.
$150 a day.
Yeah.
All right, an enhanced job, you're making $140 a day,
Mhm.
$10 a difference
Yeah.
in your job.
Yeah.
You know, that's, you know,
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
if you're not explaining this, and they're asking that question, we didn't explain this, it means we didn't tie them down the entire time. You know, for that $10 difference, it doesn't make that big of a deal, you know, what, a pizza a day, you know, if you're doing $10 a day, or whatever, you're doing $2 a day, you know, a candy bar a day, a pop a day, pretty much, you know, you can get this entire program. You know, if we're not tying it down to their individual situation, and they're understanding that it does cost money throughout this whole worksheet, when I'm tying them down, you know, going back to the top, explaining this, then I don't know what the confusion is. You're just not doing your job here. That's where that situation came up. That I wasn't paying attention to.
Can I ask, like, a situation where it's a guy and let's say they got divorced or whatever, the kids are with the woman, would you recommend still just doing a singles presentation or do like a family?
Depends on the situation. If he isn't close to him, and it's just all about him, and doesn't see his kids or anything like that, then I'm going for a singles presentation. But if he still interacts with his kids just a little bit, I'm pulling out a family worksheet, I'm presenting the family worksheet to him. Because he's still gonna have patient protection. They may not love their wife anymore, but usually they still love their kids.
Always.
You know, you can grow apart, whatever, so be it. But the kids, you know, that's something that you created, and usually they love, as long as they don't piss the kids off too bad in the situation of divorcing or whatever. But I would go after a family two job in that situation. Send a paycheck home to the kids. I would put it all in the kids. There's nothing coming out of my mouth about the wife. Unless he's sitting there talking about the wife, he still cares about her, or blah, 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 whatever. And you can still put her as a beneficiary or not. But, you know, I would focus on the kids there at that point. Everything, his life revolves around those kids, and he lives and works pretty much for those kids at that point. That's what you gotta have the mindset of. So, in that situation, I pull out the two job. Cool.
Yeah, let me say something real quick. When I say things throughout the presentation, I'm not, everybody's different, okay? But I go in, when I'm in the home, I tell them I'm going to be as real and as blunt as anybody you've ever met in your life. I'm not beating around the bush, okay?
Come on, say that off top.
Straight up. When I'm introducing myself, I tell you I'm going to be the realest insurance benefit guy you'll ever meet in your life. Okay, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying, like when Doug said, well, this is what TJ said. Yeah, because I tell them when I walk in, I'm going to be the realest cat. You're going to die. We're here to protect your paycheck. Why? Because over 20,000 unions thought it was important enough and good enough that we come out personally and explain it to you. Okay? But the script is essential. The script tells you that. I'm just so blunt, I say that and that. You know what I mean? I'm not telling nobody to do that. You know? You are who you are. The key is to be real and to make a friend and to do the script in a way that it doesn't sound robotic. The script is done by multi-millionaires. You know, whoever's listening to those CDs in the morning about
Altics, race,
yo,
and
it tells you, the script has to come first and then you have to incorporate yourself into it. That's why they're millionaires.
How are we supposed to get those CDs?
We got them, we're burning.
we're burning copies. Chris has got copies in his desk. I've got some copies in there already.
We're burning them today too, whoever doesn't have
You know,
it.
it talks, I mean, top producer in American Income, Zach Hart. It tells you right in there, he was a $2,000 to $3,000 a week producer. Is all he was.
He said for the
It
month.
was like a month or even.
Oh, yeah.
First 6 months.
First couple months, and then he left American Income after 3 years. Gave up all his renewals after 3 years. Left American Income, went to a different company. Said it took him 2 weeks to realize that the grass wasn't greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Came back to American Income, lost 3 years of renewals. for leaving that long.
For 2 weeks.
He's been in the business for 9 years. He'd be 100% vested next year.
Did
He had not left.
Did he say he worked 7 months of the year at one point?
He said about hitting the record because some girl's about
Some
to
girls
write
get
300,000.
She's
That'd be awesome.
already got it. She's broke his record.
He works the first 6 months. He didn't bonus once. The first 6 months.
Yeah.
He averaged 4,000 a month.
This is your top producer, man. And he said what fired him up, and all it took was competition. Is being a competitor. That's a competitor. You know, to go from a $4,000 a month producer to
67,000
over. That's unbelievable. But he's a competitor. If you ask Simon, that's what we're lacking right now is being a top producer. Is this dude and Simon? Okay, you want to talk about clash of titans? You all out, full out arguments in front of meetings.
In front of 70
He'd be like, "I'm going to kick you, and you's ass this week by myself."
Simon and his team.
That's the shit that this dude be doing, and he's cocky enough to back it up. He'd go out and drop 16, 17,000 in 3 days.
He wrote 50,000 in 10 minutes.
But he's an animal. Absolutely animal.
Yeah, in December, what month are we in?
December.
We are. Did you get any more Pittsburghian than that? See how I adapt?
And he backs it up. Runs his mouth.
I've been here my
Backs it
whole
up.
life and I don't see it like that. I don't know.
You know, that's the type of
Hey, if you
competitors
switch it around, you'll be selling more animals.
that we need. Need people that just desire, all based off pride. There was nothing on the line other than pride. That's all it comes down to. You know, that to me, that's a competitor. You're calling out 3 people and going and backing it up. Granted, Simon and them did beat him by like 2,000. That dude was so sick to his stomach, he was crying in the office, pouting, throwing a tantrum. They call him, the Jim Race had to call him in the office. Like, this is how mad of a competitor this guy is that he got beat. He called out an entire team against himself. That's an animal. That's just a different mindset, you know. So, and a lot of his deals come off big deals, just ask for big checks and everything else he goes into. He doesn't think the economy's bad, this and that, and he just goes right after it. You're protecting your family. You spend $500 a month on your car, on a sweater. You should be able to spend that much on yourself, if not at least half that amount. You know, if somebody came in my house, started hitting me with all the stuff I spend money on.
On top of that,
Blast.
universal life policies are expensive. I mean, people are paying hundreds of dollars a month on a policy that's losing a benefit right now. If you go in and you're smart, which is what Zach Hart did, Zach Hart wrote $400 a month deals every day. Why? Because he took the universal life and crapped on it. He said you took this out when the interest rate was 12%, now it's 4%, you're losing 8% a month, and who's paying for it? Your premium's the same. And then he would bust out their chart and be like, guess how much money you've lost in the last 2 years? Do you want to lose any more?
Belief. You know, it's all comes down to his belief. I passed out you guys the singles list of concerns. Basically, you know, we're going over a lot of the same stuff that you see in the family one. I think Simon went over with you guys, right? Mm-hmm. You know, lack of member uncontrolled benefits, co-pays, deductibles, lost wages, cancer, funeral and final expenses, life insurance, and affordability of benefits. Pretty much use damn near the same verbiage on all these things. One thing that I don't get into too much is statistics on the cancer section. You know, the way that I build a need is, for example, Ricardo?
Yes.
Okay. You go by Ricardo, Ricky?
Rico, Ricardo.
Rico?
Yeah.
Alright. So, Rico, have you ever known anybody who's had cancer before?
Yes.
Who was that?
My mom.
Your mom? What kind of cancer did she have?
Breast.
Breast cancer? Is she still with us?
No.
No? Sorry to hear that. How long ago was that?
About 16 years ago.
About 16 years ago. So, I mean, I'm sure you probably know the mental stress, the physical stress she went through, and also the financial stress that it put your family in, right?
Yes.
Right there. How many people do you think he's thinking about cancer right now?
Yeah, he's bad at product.
He's thinking about what happened while
He just thought about everything. I just put him through the whole 9. Not being mean to him, by no means, but I pried into the situation. I just created a huge concern right there. If he doesn't have cancer coverage already, he's gonna be getting it here in a second. Because when I get into my cancer, obviously it's got the script and stuff like that. But if you guys want extra additional stuff on cancer, I've got 4 pages in my binder, just on cancer alone. Because I hit him with, you know, not only is it costing mentally and physically, but also financially. and get into, you know, overall cost of cancer, say about 72% is what I'm here to talk to you about. And 28% is picked up by, you know, our medical bills, you know, medical insurance pays the doctors, the hospitals, radiologists, all that stuff. What I'm here to talk to you about is 72%. It isn't covered by all our medical bills. Co-pays, deductibles, out-of-town travel, lodging, special diets, home care, health care. You got daycare for the kids, you're not working, I don't have money coming in. You know, and basically if you look on American Cancer Society's webpage, they say 1 out of every 2 men will die from cancer. That's flipping a coin to, you know, you or me will develop or die from cancer in a lifetime. 1 out of every 4 Americans will die from cancer. 25% of the American population, they say, will die from cancer if you do the research. 1 out of every 3 women will develop or die from cancer in our lifetime. You know, the good thing is we're living longer due to advances in modern medicine. The problem is it's killing us financially. Okay, USA Today, they published an article that says in as little as 2 to 3 months, families accumulate as much as $20,000 in out-of-pocket expenses. That's out of our pocket. Okay, so when you're looking at it, that's a lot of money. Most members don't have set aside. You know, they just throw away on cancer. And you know, you keep flipping the pages. I got a whole other page that breaks down, if I'm dealing with a senior, it breaks down Medicare versus Medicaid and what they pay towards stuff. You know, so that hits home pretty good. And then, yeah, I have a whole other page that I go over. But to get into is, you know, the problem is, you know, we put our blood, sweat, and tears into building up our houses, our pensions, we pay off our cars, you know, all that just to come down with cancer, to lose it all just because of cancer. And you put your blood, sweat, and tears into this house, the car, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, because your wife's going to do everything to keep you alive for as long as possible, make sure you get the best treatment out there, they're going to pull out a second mortgage on the house, they'll sell the cars, whatever it takes, you know, cash in the pension and retirement, you know, to make sure that you have the best possible treatment that can possibly give you a chance at living longer. But now the problem is, that's why most widows die penniless. You know, it's number 1 leading cause of bankruptcy out of any disease. It's number 3 leading cause of bankruptcy out of everything. You know, like I said before, you know, it's good because we're living longer and longer due to advances in modern medicine. The problem is, Marcus, it's killing us financially. So what the unions did to help protect, make sure that we don't lose everything we put our blood, sweat, and tears into, is it came up with a lump sum cancer benefit. It pays you $10,000 upon the first diagnosis of cancer. It's paid directly to you, not to the doctors, not to the hospitals. You know, it pays directly to you, so we can pay those bills. You know, like the mortgage payment. We can keep the lights on. We can feed the kids when we're not working. You understand why I got that set up for you? Yes. Exactly. With our current job, you can see there's no money coming in for that. I'm sure you can see how that'd be beneficial to you and your family, don't you? Yes.
If you buy multiple units of the 10,000,
You can buy, there's $10,000, $25,000, $50,000 lump sums.
That's what I was going to ask you. Which one of those do you push? Because, I mean, if you're talking about mortgaging the houses and selling the cars, obviously it's not just 10,000. Right?
What's that?
We used to do, we used to 5 units.
That's a graded benefit we don't do here. They don't sell graded benefit here. We do straight lump sum.
Do you do more than 10,000? Do you do 25?
Depending on the situation and how old they are, something like that.
Okay.
Age, you know, is a big factor. You know, on yourselves, especially from most of everyone in this room, get it at a young age is cheap. For $10,000 on anyone up to age 34, it's $3 a month. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. You have a 50-50 shot at developing or dying from it.
Why wouldn't you spend that
$3, you know, a month, $36 a year. Say I live another 40 years. You know, I'm getting cancer. I know I'm getting cancer. It's a done deal. Half my family's had cancer. My grandpa died of it. Both my grandma's had skin cancer. Aunt Colorado breast cancer. Her daughter, you know, ovarian cancer. They've had a mole removed out the back 3 times. The same mole kept grew back. It's a done deal. I know I'm getting cancer.
So you have the whole singles plan, man? You personally?
I have the A71, obviously accidental. I have flexible life insurance and cash value life insurance. I got the app for the critical illness, the heart attack, because I'm either dying of cancer or heart attack.
Is it the age 34?
No, the age 34 is a hospital indemnity, which for medical problems or accidental. Critical illness is like the C2000, the CI2000 or something like that. It's for heart attack, stroke, end-stage renal disease, any major organ transplant. Pays you same like the cancer, pretty much the same rates as cancer too. If you're talking to a policeman, firefighter, or electrician, that's a good product to pull out. It's a separate application. I've got little brochure things like this.
Is it age rated too?
It's basically the same cost for as the cancer is. It's 10,000 lump sum, 25,000 lump sum, 50,000 lump sum. Great product though. But policemen, firefighters, and electricians usually have a stroke, a heart attack, or die within 3 years of retiring. So, if you're looking at it from the statistics standpoint, if I'm talking to a young electrician or a young cop or a young firefighter, it's not a product, not a bad product to throw on there. You give a young firefighter's 30 years old, lump sum cancer, critical illness, and a life insurance policy. You got to spend $6 on a critical illness and lump sum cancer for $10,000 a piece. That's a pretty damn big deal if you look at it from that standpoint. That's my opinion. And when you're attaching stuff like that to it, your retention's going to go up. It doesn't count as ALP, but I'll take 36 less ALP or 72 less ALP to keep a $500 ALP deal on the books for a lifetime as opposed to a year.
So that's its own app, correct?
It's got its own application. They're out there. They say critical illness cross stop them.
Yeah. There's dust on them in there, I've seen them.
Yeah, there's definitely dust on them. So, I've sold quite a few of them. It's just a matter of knowing your price. Like I keep telling everybody, educate yourselves. If you don't know what all we got, start asking people.
I was writing down when you just said that last comment. Were you saying the fact that if I sold a cancer with a life, they'll both stay on longer?
Oh, if you attach cancer to a life policy, if you look at the retention, Richard Meshlam, he came in here, he said it's like a 60-some percent or something like that, better retention if you attach cancer to a life product. He said they stay on a lot longer because of the fear of cancer. Cancer is a huge concern out there. And if you think about it, say there's 20 of us in here, 10 of this half the room, you guys got cancer. We got cancer in this half the room. You guys are cool. There's a lot of people who look at the rest of us. So, that's why, you educate yourself a little bit more and you give yourself more arsenal, it's going to make this job a whole lot easier. That's what it comes down to. But, if just somebody just pitches cancer, and I know cancer's in their family or runs in their family, I'm going to pitch cancer to them, but guess what it comes with?
Full life.
Comes with a freedom of choice. It's attached. Because the way that I pitch it is you may not die from cancer, Rico, but you are going to die of something, right? There's only two things we're guaranteed to do. One's die and pay the other one's pay taxes. I've seen people get around paying taxes, and I've never seen somebody get around dying. So what they want to do is make sure if you're anything like me too, you don't want to pay money into something that you don't get anything out of it. So what they did was they actually had attached this freedom of choice certificate with it, comes with it. It's kind of almost like a return of premium. If you get the cancer, great, we're giving you $10,000. If you die, anyway you die, we're going to throw in the additional $10,000 towards your funeral. But if you don't have it, you have to be one of the 50%. It's lucky. If you don't get the cancer, you're at least going to die still, so you're still getting $10,000. So it's not like you paid into something and you're not getting anything out of it. You understand how it's going to be beneficial to your family? Great. Always put it back into, you understand how it's going to be beneficial? And they're always going to say yes. I don't know too many people are going to go, no, that ain't going to be beneficial to you, my family. There's your $10,000. Come on, 0. So when you attach them, that's how I kind of pitch it. You can pitch it almost as like a return of premium. You can pitch it as a funeral benefit. You can pitch it as whatever you want. But if you're anything like me, you don't want to pay into, because we're the same now. If you're anything like me, you don't want to pay into something you don't get anything out of, right? Of course not. So that's why I always attach it. If I'm pitching the injury compensation, I'll pitch it the same way. If you don't get hurt, but you do die, this is going to be kind of like a return of premium. Always comes with a freedom of choice. Even if it's a $5 a week freedom of choice. No one knows how much that injury compensation is unless you blatantly tell them. I got people paying $45, $50 a month thinking that it's just straight for the injury compensation and freedom of choice is something with it. Injury compensation for your whole family at 100, 200, 400 is $925. They're paying an additional $40 for their insurance. People are willing to pay if they like it. They're willing to pay pretty much whatever. It's all on how well you basically sell the benefit and sell the idea and the concept and put them in that emotional state. If you got kids, I don't know how you can't want that program. Anybody here got kids? How many times you guys been to the emergency room, doctor's office, and kid getting hurt? Not yet.
Soon.
You know, especially if they play sports. Are you kidding me? It's a done deal. I've had stitches 25 times and 5 surgeries. My mom would have loved that. $100 a pop. Probably about $100 in her pocket. Nice flat screen TV or something.
I said my mom could have quit her job if she would have got this out of the hospital.
I've had stitches in my chin 7 times as long. Top of my head, forehead, and that's why I'm all messed up. But you know, it's a great benefit. So, but singles, we need to really have the mindset every single time. What's in it for me? Bottom line. Feel that? Shoot.
What age usually do you differentiate with the singles and the seniors in terms of like single woman or single lady?
A single woman or a single lady?
I mean single woman or single lady, I'm sorry.
What age do I differentiate?
Right, like say they're like in their 40s or 50s, when would you do a singles presentation like this or a seniors presentation?
I pretty much will pitch this all the way up into the 50s. You know, 55 and up, you're looking at, you know, seniors presentation, like it says on the worksheet. But you got to remember, you guys know this injury compensation that goes up in cost if you're over 50. Everyone know that? The A71,000, 100, 200, 400, that goes up in cost, just like it does if it's 50, 100, 200. It still goes up in cost. It's like 475 for a family under 50, but it's 525 for a family over 50. The same A71 benefit doesn't go up, it just costs a little bit more. It costs 50 cents more. Everyone know that? Everyone does now? Make sure you know it's 50 cent difference. Not that big of a deal, but I can throw your numbers off.
Is that based on the policyholder's age or any member of the family?
It's the policyholder usually.
So if I'm in a family where there's a 5-year gap, I'm going to put this policy on the wife.
So it'll just go off the husband's age. 50 years. If the husband or wife's over 50,
Don't matter.
if the husband's 49, she's 50, go either way. You know, if you usually just go off the husband, and it makes it a lot easier. Typically, where the husband's older anyway, you know, on average. You know, also, the men die 8.5 to 10 years earlier than women, so use that, you know, as in your statistics. If you're pitching seniors and stuff like that, you know, Justin brought up a great point. I was talking to him last night, talking about Social Security protection and different things like that. Is even if you're pitching to a family, you can pitch to like a pension match or big insurance policies, and building that cash value. Because you can pull that cash value out and you talk about putting into a single annuity for a family, because usually the woman outlives the guy 8.5 to 10 years. Do it in a, what would you say, a 10-year immediate annuity, so it just pays out for 10 years. You know, if she lives past 10 years, well, you know, past 10 years, you still get your Social Security coming in. But you know, it's something that he's good at. That's what's going to help him down the road. So if anyone wants to talk about cash value options and annuities, Justin's a good one to talk to about what you can do with money. But making sure we got this all down pat's going to be important. Do you guys understand? Make sure we're okay with seniors. Singles are a great one to deal with. You know, I truly believe. You know, if you sit down and just build a friend with them, have a cold beer with them, it's a done deal. Build a rapport. Seniors is the one that I've got here next that I want to touch on. Simon read this to you guys yesterday?
What's that?
An article that says, what happens if someone dies with more bills than they have money to pay them?
Oh, no.
That's pretty interesting.
You gonna share it?
Yeah, don't read it to us, I guess.
That's fine, you guys can't have it.
You guys go get it out the front. Justin
Team
snatches up. It is not unusual for someone to die with more bills than cash. even after cars and assets are sold, they may not be enough to pay the bills and debt. If the estate goes through probate, the court decides who gets paid first and how much. If the estate does not go through probate, the executor must follow specific rules to liquidate all assets and pay the creditors. If there is enough money to cover 100% of the bills, the children and family members are not generally required to pitch in the difference. Credit card companies and other creditors write off the assets, losses, and debt.
I want to copy that.
There's a whole bunch of this. There you go. I read it too. This here is what I feel is the bread and butter. Seniors. I absolutely love seniors. We got enough there?
Everyone's blank.
No wonder why this chat's all so thin. It's getting hot in here. You are wearing a sweater. Yeah. Very easy. Our Marcus Oliver just getting here. Lost the ball?
Country, you can do this presentation?
Want to do it right now?
I never saw, all right.
Everybody got one? Everybody good to go? All right, this is seniors presentation. We'll probably gonna rip those other ones out of there. How many of you guys still use the other worksheet?
No way.
This, never use it again? And how many of you guys are having success with this worksheet?
Yeah.
You don't know yet?
I haven't used it yet.
You ever use this worksheet?
Haven't seen it yet.
Oh, no. Alright, this is kind of a worksheet. I mean, there was a modified version we had kind of in Ohio. We changed it up a little bit, made some corrections and different things to it, and I still haven't got it approved. It should be fine. But obviously our success ratio has gone up dramatically, more than doubled with seniors since people started using this worksheet. It's all based off of how you present it. I don't use the senior list of concerns in the book. I create a list of concerns on the backside of the worksheet. So those of you that are using this, make sure you're using the backside of the worksheet. We'll show you what I go over and how I present it here on the board. But this here will and should be bread and butter. Everyone should start loving seniors just because of this presentation and the way it's given. It's proactively beating up everything and giving them options where it's more affordable for them, even though our fixed income and all that good stuff. So basically leading into it, I use kind of the same transitions and everything right before the senior list of concerns I get into, just like, over the years, how Justin, you were going through contract negotiations and benefit change. You used to always go through that. And it seems like, every year, we kept paying more and more dues and getting less and less benefits. And you know what the first people's benefits have been cutting out lately? Retirees, seniors and retirees. The guys that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into getting this union up to where it is, and so I can enjoy the union benefits and the wages that I do now, which I do greatly thank you for. But unfortunately, it seems like they're always cutting the senior and retirees benefits. But here's a benefit that they came up with that that basically is given back to you now, and that's why they have me out here and they're all excited about. But they are having some problems, and this is the program I'm about to go over. I was going to take care of all those problems for you. So the list of concerns that they had for the members right now is, you got to remind you guys proactively. I've already found out back in the family information guide how much insurance you had. Let's say you had you and your wife, Mike Delahunty there, each had $25,000. We'll say the full life.
Yes, sir.
Mike and Justin. I'll call you Justine and Mike. So you guys had 25,000, a full life proactively, we'll say they're 67, 63, So these are just things that you got to proactively know so that when I'm going through this presentation, that you're not like, where did he pull those numbers from? In the family information guide, I'll just rewind back to it real quick. Family information guide will say, obviously, how much coverage did you say you had again? Who is it through? I find all that information out. Then I get down to the next section. Down here is your burial information. Now, have you and Mike discussed whether you want to be buried or cremated yet? You both want to be buried? Okay. Great. They just threw it out there right away. A lot of times they're like, yeah, we discussed it. Okay, did you decide whether you want to be buried, cremated? Does your family lean towards burial or cremation? Towards burial, and you too? Okay, you guys have like a plot and everything already set up, the family cemetery? You have a plot already? What about Justine here? Nothing? Are you guys gonna be buried together?
No, it's one plot stack.
Oh, you're gonna stack each other? In case anyone costs, okay, great. I won't get into any of that stuff.
Well, no, it's reality.
Reality, that's what I'm saying, that's fine. You stack them, okay, did you guys already got the headstone already, everything? No headstone, any services or anything taken care of? So you guys got a long ways to go. Have you guys looked into prepaids at all?
No.
No, okay, alright, we'll get into that later anyway. I wanted to find all that information out proactively, so that I'm not running into a situation with all this down the road. So you haven't looked at prepaids, so I'm assuming they don't know. A funeral home director, if they come up later and they try to tell me that one of their friends is the funeral home director, I'm gonna throw in their face because they said they haven't looked into a prepaid. So you must not be too good of friends with the funeral home director. So I found all that stuff out. So getting over here. Do you remember what the average, do you know what an average cost of a funeral costs nowadays? Justin, Mike?
$5,000.
Alright, Mike, you want to take a guess? 6. Alright, you guys are on a little on the low end. We're looking at anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 for funerals. Now, when do you guys think that funeral home usually wants their money? Typically right away. Use 50% up front, maybe 50% in 30 days. So what a lot of members did was they had a lot of life insurance, but you know, some of the people were thinking about using that life insurance to pay for their funerals, but you know, it's causing a lot of problems we're going to get into here in a second. And we talked, you said you had life insurance. Looks like you guys had about $25,000 in place, which looks like you guys did a pretty good start getting $25,000. But most members I see usually have anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 in insurance. So you guys did a good job getting your foot in the door. Need a little bit better coverage there though. Pause, stopping right there. What you're looking at is chewed up their $25,000 in insurance right now. Most members have $50,000 to $100,000. And if you look at how I wrote these numbers, this one is 50 to 100K. This one's 8 to 12,000. Why do you think I did it this way? It looks bigger. It looks big. If I got 8,000 to 12,000, I write it out. It's intentional. I intentionally write out 8,000 and 12,000, so you see, perception is reality. All right. So then we got here, this here, not that big of a deal, but I want them to know this is what most members have. Okay. Second concern they had. Did you guys ever have to deal with life insurance paying out before? No. Okay. Well, what you're looking at is usually on average it takes anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks for life insurance to pay out. Like I talked about before, that funeral home wanting this money right now, at least 50% up front. 50% in 30 days, they'll gladly finance it for you. You know what interest rates are right now with credit cards and things like that. You know, 18 to 24% interest. So your funeral may have only cost, $8,000, $10,000. Now actually, it costs $14,000, $16,000. One house that I was just at, they said they've been paying for over a year, paying installments on it. Imagine how much interest they paid on that funeral. Crazy, huh? But what you're looking at is in October of 2005, they passed a law that says that insurance companies have up to 6 months before they actually have to pay out. You think the bigger the policies you have, the longer it's going to take to pay out. So what I'm looking at here is that they hit you with, they have the VGLI, SGLI, the military policies that are monstrous policies, taking long times to pay out. Okay? So you guys got to proactively think this in your head. If they have 100,000 up here, I'm going to say, well, you did a good job. Most members have between $200,000 and $300,000 in insurance, but you did a good job getting your foot in the door. Whatever they tap in insurance, I always up it and say, hey, most members have this. You did a good job getting your foot in the door. Because it's chewing them up and making them almost belittle them a little bit, belittle their insurance coverage. Not being mean and disrespectful or anything, but it's making them understand that $100,000 isn't going to get you very far. But now we're back down here, take up to 6 months with the funeral home and stuff like that, when their money now, that's money out of your pocket. The third thing, and the third concern, was our families. Okay? Now, we probably originally took out that money for our family because that's the only thing they're going to have to live off of once you're gone, right, Mike? Mm-hmm. That's all Justine's going to have, for credit cards. You're going to lose half your pension. Just choose larger the 2 in Social Security. But then also, along with, if you had a funeral right now, say we cut out $10,000, also you're down to $15,000. There's other things that your family's going to run around. Which forms do I fill out? know, did I fill this out? Did I transfer the funds over? Did I order the cards? Did I get the funeral? Did I get the right casket? Did I pay the funeral home director the deposit? There's so many things that are going on. It's going to be so confusing. In a time when you die, you're not going to know where all the papers are, let alone be able to fill that all out. You know how long it takes, you know, on average for a funeral turnaround time? Usually it's about 3 days, they say. You know, it's most members I talk to say it's like planning a wedding in 3 days. You only have 3 days to do it. So your family's going to be confused. You got people coming in and out of town. You know, who's preparing the meal afterwards. Everything's going to be extremely hectic at that time, let alone you're not going to be thinking about, you know, where were those life insurance papers? Did I fill them out properly? And if you do, you take the funeral with $25,000 into the funeral home, guess how much your funeral's going to be? Because it's going to be a big problem with a lot of people taking their life insurance policies into funeral homes right now. Well, I mean, I'm not saying funeral home directors are crooked, but they're going to give Mike the best funeral home possible. I mean, a funeral possible. They're going to give him that Elvis casket, the band, the doves. They're going to give him the whole 9 yards. So a funeral that maybe only should have cost $10,000. Next thing you know, you're spending $18,000 on that funeral, and now we're only left with $7,000, creating a big concern. So what a lot of the members were doing is making sure that their families were protected, as they were looking at going into, is prepaid funerals. But the problem is, I'm sure if you've been watching the news or anything like that, they've been having a lot of problems with prepaids right now. One of the big concerns with a prepaid funeral is they tend to be expensive. Now, you guys didn't say you did much research as far as looking into funerals, right? Prepaids? No. Usually what you're looking at is anywhere from $150 to $200 a month per person, so you're looking at anywhere from $300 to $400 a month. And most retirees I see say that $300 or $400 a month is too unaffordable, especially on a fixed income. They said maybe half that amount, maybe $150 to $200 a month would be okay, but $300 to $400 a month just isn't in the budget. Or you can go ahead and give them a lump sum. Say each of your guys' funeral costs $10,000. You can go ahead and just give them a lump sum of $20,000. But you know, how smart does that sound? Not too smart. I mean, you can put the $20,000 in joint interest yourself. You know, you might as well make the money off of it. The second concern that they have with it is their dollar for dollar. So, for example, Mike, if your funeral would cost $10,000 and you guys paid into it $2,000, Justin, how much would your family still owe? $8,000. We just defeated the whole purpose of having a prepaid funeral. Wasn't the whole purpose to take care of the funeral so the family and kids didn't have to worry about that? Yeah. Exactly. So now we have $8,000. So now they're still running around trying to get those insurance papers, trying to liquidate the car, sell whatever they need to do, transfer over funds, make sure that it's taken care of right away. Third concern they had was they're non-transferable. You know, regardless of the director, the reputation, the condition of the funeral home, you locked into that funeral home. Now, I'm not saying you guys are, but if you were to move to Florida, you know, you were to die in Florida, you have to get shipped back up here because you're locked in at that funeral home regardless of everything. You know, and I'm not saying you might have a friend in the business or whatever, but that same friend's in the business that probably took care of your parents, took care of your grandparents, probably isn't going to be around to take care of you. You know, he's either at some point he's going to retire or die himself. So, you know, at that point, then it's up in the air to who's going to be in charge of that funeral home. You know, I've seen a lot of funeral homes run down. Also, another problem they're having right now is, you know, over 50% of funeral homes are corporate owned. I don't know if you guys know that or not, because there's a lot of money to be made in there. So what you're looking at is, I don't know if you guys may have heard of a couple of the funeral homes out there, like Bell Funeral Home. They're a big one out of Michigan. If you want around buying it, mom and pop funeral homes, left and right, because of the amount of money to be made in them. You know, say your funeral cost, you know, $8,000, you get a prepaid there. You know, if Bell were to come in and say, hey, you know what, our funeral actually costs $12,000 for a prepaid, you owe us $4,000 more. Well, you know, after, you know, arguing it and doing maybe some legal battles and whatnot, you probably keep it at the $8,000, but after you just paid all the money for legal fees and lawyers and whatnot, you might as well just pay $12,000, you know, it probably would have been cheaper. But that's a big problem, because, you know, if they basically come into town and say, I want to buy a, you know, mom and pop funeral home, and they don't sell out, those building across the street lower the prices because they can't afford to, run them out of business, and then jack the prices back up. Or they come in and buy it out and do adjustments as necessary. So that's a big problem right now, a big concern with them being non-transferable. So what they actually set up for you guys is these, the Freedom of Choice funeral benefit plans. It takes care of the funeral and final expenses, so who doesn't have to? So your family doesn't have to. So basically what this is it's completely transferable. It's good to any funeral home in America, Puerto Rico, New Zealand, Canada. It's completely transferable. So if you go down to Florida and you want to be buried down in Florida, it's good down there as well. Okay, so it completely takes care of the problem here. Next thing we talked about was our dollar for dollar. So say your funeral cost $10,000, and you guys paid into it $2,000. How much did we say your funeral was left still? Actually, with the freedom of choice certificate, your family knows nothing. It takes care of the full amount from the first day you're qualified. So therefore, your family's not going to have to be running around trying to find out where's the money coming from. Do I need to liquidate this or that? It's all taken care of just by the certificate. Don't even have to run to try to find the insurance papers, but everything's taken care of right by the certificate. Next thing we talked about is usually they're expensive. We said anywhere from $300 to $400 a month, a $20,000 lump sum. This is usually about a third of the cost to half the cost of a prepaid funeral. This is why all the members are so excited, because it's affordable for them right now. Getting back up here, now we're family. You know, instead of running around trying to figure out what forms do I need to fill out, who's coming in town, did I get the right things, did I fill out the right papers, they can actually get together and celebrate and enjoy your life and the precious memories that you had with them, as opposed to it being chaotic and being all sorrowful and mournful and making their life even more stressful. You know, now our family can be with each other. Now getting back in here anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks for insurance money to pay out, this pays out from the first day you're qualified. You're looking at anywhere from 5 to 7 business days. It takes care of, you know, 2 checks are cut. 1 check goes to the funeral home, take care of the funeral pile expenses. The other, if there's any money left over, goes directly back to you, Justin, for any other vital expenses that came along with Mike dying. You understand how that's going to be beneficial? And now this $25,000, since you guys did a good job of getting your foot in the door, and the $25,000 we took out can actually go to our family, because that's the only thing we're going to leave behind for any future emergencies, catastrophes, any kid situations, you know, any deposits, or leaving behind any legacies that we want to leave behind. Because, you know, how many people want to really die and stick their kids with a bunch of bills? You know, stick your wife with a bunch of bills when you're gone. You know, being that the loving and responsible father that you are, I'm assuming that you want to go ahead and leave some stuff behind for your family to make it a little bit easier on them. So now that money that we had goes to our family. So what has been set up for you guys is basically 3 plans. They got a basic, silver, and gold package. The basic package is a freedom of choice funeral benefit. It's for $10,000. It takes care of just you, Mike. It goes ahead and breaks down. It's about $10 a week to take care of your funeral final expenses. Got the silver package. It's going to take care of both of you guys' funerals. You're basically looking at is about $102 a month to take care of both of your guys' funeral final expenses. And then you got the gold package. It's kind of like a legacy package, I like to call it. It more than takes care of both your funerals. It leaves a little bit of extra money behind, so that you guys can leave a little legacy fund as well. You're usually looking at about $175 a month. But basically what I'm getting at here is they got the basic silver and gold package. Which one do you want to see if you can qualify for, Justin?
Probably basic.
Yeah, basically what I do is I don't really give them an option. I tell them which option they're going to go with. I'm saying, so which option do you want to qualify for? Most members qualify with the silver one, Justin. Which one do you want to try to qualify for?
Let's go silver.
You want to go try to qualify for the silver? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we try to go ahead and qualify you for the gold? Because if you can get the gold, odds are you'll be able to get the silver. So let's try and qualify you for the gold real quick. You ever been treated for alcoholism or AA? Use narcotics, sedatives, solutions to excess? You know, I start going through.